Peace and greetings. Peace and greetings, everyone who are catching this as the recording that it will become. Thanks so much for joining me this early Thursday rising. I'm going to give a little bit of time for others to join me to see that I've even gone live, the whole nine. And trying to steady my camera as well. As you can see by the title, what we're going to be talking about, light is consciousness. Peace and greetings, beloved. Thanks so much for joining. And to be honest, this is one of my favorite topics. I feel like it's one of the most important topics. Peace, peace, peace and greetings. Thanks for joining, guys. So, I am going to read the tea bag message of the day. So, this message says, give love, get love. I like that. Give love, get love. And how I take that is just as it's written, you know, and you also think about the law of karma when you hear that. You get what you give, you know, you reap what you sow. What you put out into the universe comes back to you. So get love, give love. If you put love out there, if you give love, that's what you will get. Right? Okay, cool. Anyhow, I'm going to be discussing light and how it is consciousness in today's topic. And I'm going to also be giving some tips on how to access more light, therefore accessing more consciousness. And this is divine because the more consciousness we all have access to, the more beautiful our world will be, because the more consciousness people have, the better that they will act and the more that they will love one another. Light is also love because love is ruled by the sun and the sun is light. So, nevertheless, let's just get right into the discussion for today. Peace and greetings, sis. Thanks for joining me and letting me know what time it is. Okay, so you guys see that the topic is light is consciousness. So why am I even saying that, and where is that coming from? Well, let's just say for starters, when people say that they had an epiphany or a revelation, it was like a light bulb went off in their head. Even when you are texting and you text the word idea, the you know, the emoji for idea is a light bulb, you know, and that shows you how light is consciousness just off of those, you know, indications that I just mentioned. Peace and greetings. Thanks for so much for joining. But more than that, our sun is consciousness. And I was sharing this in my talks that I'm holding, the Cosmic Conversations with Kateria tour talks that I've been having. But when the sun is heating up the earth, it is sending information, you know. And even our global warming that we are experiencing in today's time is correlated to the great awakening that is also taking place on planet Earth. This is why so many people are becoming more enlightened, more in tuned, more informative. We have access to so much more information because the sun and also the stars are sending more light codes, more energy, and more frequencies of information onto Earth. Thank you so much for that compliment about my backdrop. It was a really interesting piece that I got on Amazon. And I was like, this woman looks like a Pisces, and I'm a Pisces rising, but she's an Aquarius goddess. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's me. That's my higher self. I got a picture of my higher self hanging on my wall. She's so awesome. Okay, so nevertheless, though, like I stated, the spiritual awakenings that we're having, the global awakening that has taken place on earth is coming from the light energy that we are receiving to earth. And this is not just happening from the outside, it's also happening from within the earth. Earth itself is becoming more enlightened. And so many things that I want to share with this. I just want to make sure I'm sharing it in the way that I want it to flow. I definitely want these talks to be more free flowing, and I don't like have notes written down because I just want it to be like a casual conversation style, you know, opposed to when I do like edited videos. But nevertheless, when it comes to this light, you know, and having more light, like when you guys experience your spiritual awakening, didn't it feel like a lot of light came into you that opened your mind? For me, my spiritual awakening took place in 2011. But before 2011 came, I was telling my friends and my family that I felt, you know, a light coming from a million light years away. This is what I was actually saying. I could feel light coming from a million light years away coming to hit me, and that I was going to be changed forever. You know, I was saying this in 2010, and I didn't have my spiritual awakening until August 3rd of 2011, and it lasted for 7 days. So I wowed out that whole year because I knew that I was about to change. I could just feel it in my body. And so I just wowed out that whole year because I was like, I'm not going to be able to enjoy these different things. I was going to the clubs, I was dancing, I went to Vegas, you know, I was turning up, I was doing all kinds of things because I felt this light coming into me. So back then, I wasn't aware that light was consciousness, you know what I'm saying? But for me to say that I can feel light coming from a million light years away, you know, and that it was going to change me, and you know, just to have that notion, that understanding, or that intuitive connection was interesting, because what ended up happening is when the light hit me in August, I became more enlightened and I became more informed, you know, and have been sharing the information that I was hit with everyone. So nevertheless, this is how I am aware that light is consciousness. And, you know, I was also given, you know, information from different light beings, how we are experiencing the warming, and how this global warming is synonymous to the Great Awakening. There are so many people who have information and they didn't necessarily read books. It was just like a light bulb went off in their head. I mean, the emoji for idea is a light bulb. I mean, what more could we even say with that, you know? And they say that nothing travels faster than the speed of light. And when you have an epiphany, you know, you have an intuitive feeling. It's just like, bing, like, oh, wow, I got it now. This is what I'm going to do, you know? So now, what I want to share with you guys when it comes to light and consciousness and things like that, I see a lot of people who are enlightened, but I see how many people who are enlightened fall from that enlightenment and fall from grace, so to speak. And their egos get in the way of that light and get in the way of them receiving more downloads and more light codes, you know, and they're still stuck teaching the same information that they were teaching years prior, you know, years before. And what I see that as is the ego blocking you from the light, because light is pure frequencies. You know, it is a pure, so it's coming from pure source. And if you're not pure because your ego is blocking you, you're not going to be able to receive the light, you know? So you see people like, say, still rocking the same FUBU sweaters, or, you know, running the same type of a business that they were running from years before, and it's not really producing much for them. It's because they're blocked from a certain level of light and a certain level of consciousness to tap into new ideas. You know, to say, hey, now let's turn this into that. Let's do this. Let's turn this into that. Like the owner of Blockbuster definitely was not tapped into the light when Netflix hit them up. Like, hey, you know, you want to buy us, or whatever, let's do some business together. And they declined, but they weren't tapped into the light to see that as being a good idea, you know? So it's really important to stay in tune with the light because the light will carry you. So when it comes to astrology, we have a point called the North Node. And the North Node is your path to ascension, you know. And that's what light is. It is you ascending. It's pure source energy. And that's all we really want to become at the end of the day. We want source energy, which is pure light, to come into us and to radiate its being through us. But when you look at the North Node is going to show you the qualities and characteristics that you need to develop in order for you to ascend. So if it's helping you to ascend, it's helping you to remain and stay in the light. Right. So the more that you are aligned with your North Node and you are, allowing source energy to come into you, it's going to always give you ideas. It's going to always say, hey, now do this, now go here, now do that. It's going to always be that guiding light for you of information overall. Like a lot of the information that I share, not to say that I'm the smartest person or the purest person. I'm definitely not. I'm just healing and working on myself, and I do so diligently every day. And I just share whatever I'm going through and whatever I'm experiencing with everybody else. But a lot of the information that I have is not coming from books. I haven't just read a bunch of books that has, that have given me the information that I have. I get downloads from the universe, and they literally tell me, do this, go here, go there, now do that, now speak this. And when I'm given like information, like when I look at it, it makes perfect sense. And it's like, oh, wow, that makes sense how this works and how that works. And then my sister will tell me, oh yeah, that was in this book or that book and da 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 da. And I'm like, oh, that's so interesting how that information just came. But the more that I work on myself and challenge myself past my ego and actualize my self-love, the more, the universe is saying, hey, she's staying in tune, she's staying in the light. Let's give her more information. So let's, shift off and talk about that. How to access more light, how to access more consciousness and therefore more information and more ideas to become more free, So my number one thing is love. Number one is love. But when it comes to love, especially, I have a lot of Aries in my chart, so it has to be through action. It cannot just be through acceptance. It cannot just be through, talking about it. It has to be through action. So one of the ways that I show my self-love is by taking care of my body, by exercising, stretching, drinking lots of good tea, no caffeine, making sure that my blood is flowing and circulating, and that I'm ridding my body of inflammation and mucus, eating primarily a raw food, liquid diet, because I know that what I put in my body is the pure stuff, and I do make sure I get enough nutrients. I'm not just like not eating anything at all, even though, sometimes I don't be wanting to eat because it's like, oh, sometimes it feels like a hassle. I'm like, I'm going to do it because I'm going to show myself love. And if I have to prove to the universe and the creator who created me that I love the being that it gave to me, I know that the universe respects and honors that. The more that you honor yourself, the more that the universe and creator will honor you. And also when it comes to you honoring yourself, you naturally honor others because others are mirror reflections and extensions of yourself. So that for me is the number one way to stay in tune with the light is love. Because like I stated, love is ruled by the sun, and the sun is our ultimate light on planet Earth. So that's one way. And another thing is that when you're eating a pure diet, your body becomes lighter and you are able to take in more energies, more light codes. When you have, like, say you're eating a meat diet or you're eating food with aluminum and other things, you are what you eat, and these things can distort your mind and distort your body, so you're not able to receive information or light codes. This is why when people eat like a regular American breakfast, 2 pancakes, 2 sausages, eggs, bacon, and a buttered biscuit and some grits and oatmeal, they literally become drained, tired, and sleepy. And it's because literally your cells are dying. Your brain cells are dying, cells in your body are dying. They're exhausted trying to process this food, and when you're like that, when you're lethargic, you're not receiving information. I'm not talking about, when you go into that REM state of sleep, that beta brainwave state of sleep where you're tapped into your subconscious mind. I'm talking about when you're lethargic and drained and tired because you just ate this heavy diet that your body's trying to fight to process. Your body is focused on, the cells in your body are focused on breaking down this food. It's not, in this, they're not in this pure state of, bliss and consciousness to receive information. Heavily going to work, trying to break down this diet you just put into it. So, yeah, that is major when it comes to staying in tune with the light. And something that Minister Inky stated, he stated, don't listen to people who are eating like meat, or I don't know if it was Minister Inky. I think it was Dr. Laila Africa. I forgot who it was. I'm trying to remember. I can't think right now. I can't think about who it was. I wish I could remember though. I think it was Dr. Laila Africa. But nevertheless, he was stating to not adhere to the messages of people who consume dead animals. Now, I wouldn't take it that far because I know that even when I was consuming meat, I was still able to access light codes and information that helped me on my journey. And I was, we can't just automatically assume that a person that is vegan or eating a pure diet, has all the information or what have you. And if you say that, that means that nobody that eats meat is going to become enlightened. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a journey to enlightenment. So if you're still consuming meat right now, but then you're being guided and led to get an astrology reading or to make changes to your diet or to exercise, how am I going to say that you are not in tune with the light or you're not getting certain information? That's not true, because I was eating a meat diet, and then I was given the information that there was a light code that was being sent to me from a million light years away. I was eating enchiladas and all kind of stuff when I was given that message. So I can't really say that I won't listen to a person that has information that eats meat, but I will say that when I stopped eating meat, I did start to receive more information. I had more access to more light codes, and my messages are a lot more clear. That's what I will say. So I do understand, his message with that, but I can't say that I won't, adhere to a person that is delivering a message because they consume meat. Everybody's on their own journey. And if you put us all together as human beings, we all encompass or will make up the energy of source. Not one person has all the information. All of us have bits of information, and it's time for us to share that information with one another and unify and come together. So, yeah, these are the things that I see when it comes to remaining in the light. Now, also eating food that is high vibrational and that receives a lot of light energy. And, the plants, they absorb the sunlight. And when we eat the plants, we are absorbing that sunlight. We're getting more information. But also doing earthing and grounding, going into nature, placing your feet into the nature, which receives a lot of sunlight, placing your hands on the trees, staying grounded and connected to nature will also have you in tuned with light energy, and information, and also just connect you to earth. Earth is an intelligent life force, and so the more that you can tune in to earth, the more you have access to her information, which is light. And just staying in the sun. I literally lay out in the sun. I mean, I can't today. If you guys can see what they've done to the weather, I'm in the desert of California and the sky is completely gray from the geoengineering, weather control, and manipulation that they are doing. But we're going to talk about that later. But I will sit in my car and lay out in the sun or sit outside in the sun and just literally talk to the sun. Literally, like a crazy person. I don't care. This world is crazy. I talk to the sun. I ask the sun questions. I ask the sun for guidance, for enlightenment. You know, they say that the sun is the son of God. They put a man in front of that, but I know that the actual sun in the sky is the son of God. So I speak to the sun. I love the sun. I praise the sun. I'm such a sun worshiper. I am so upset that they've been blocking the sun. It pisses me off that they're blocking the sun. But I already know that we're in the age of Aquarius, and the age of Aquarius is about unification of all people, and we need something that is going to affect us all to really truly unify. So one of the things that affect us all is this weather control and manipulation and the blocking of the sun, and eventually it's going to cause us to all come together, because what they want to do is create a false ice age. And I don't know how spiritual you gonna be in an ice age, because what food are you gonna eat? I don't see nobody gonna be marching or protesting in no ice and no blizzard, you know. And during the ice age, people weren't getting access and downloads to consciousness how we are getting access and downloads of consciousness with this global warming that we are experiencing. So yeah, staying out in the sun helps to get more light. And then, of course, reading books, because most books are written because people have great ideas. Ideas, that's information, that's light, whatever. When you're reading these books, and a lot of people had like an epiphany or some type of a revelation that told them to write these books, you know. So when you're reading this book, you are consuming more light, you know. When you are watching videos on YouTube or listening to different podcasts, you're listening to information. You're receiving information. Information is light. You're on social media and you're following people who are, you know, positive, you know, who shine bright, you know, like the sun, or have bright auras or something like that. You're following them, you're getting their information, you're consuming more light. Light is all around us, it's everywhere, you know. Meditating gives you more access to your higher consciousness, which is light, you know. So these are the different things that you can do to stay in tune with the light. And major, like I was saying with the food, if you're eating a diet that is anti-inflammatory, you're going to be processing more things out of your body, so you're going to be able to receive more information, take in more, you know, things, and just heal your body. Your liver's not going to be holding on to old emotions, because our liver holds on to emotions, and other organs in our body hold on to other things and information or emotions in our body. And if we're eating a toxic diet, our elimination system is compromised. And so we're not able to let go of what our mama said and what these people did, and you know, being raped or any trauma, we're holding that in. But the more that we are eating pure diets, we're flushing stuff out and we're processing stuff out, and we can move past things in our lives. So, and the more that we can move past things and let things go, the more light we can receive and the more downloads we can receive, because it's kind of like your phone. You know, if you have a phone and you have too many videos, too many pictures, you know, too many things, you're going to have to like filter some of that stuff out, put it on a hard drive, you know, put it on a computer, laptop, or something like that, so that you can then download more things. So that's why it's so important to eat a pure diet, you know, stop eating heavy meats and things like this, because you're not filtering everything out so that you can receive more enlightenment. So that's major. And I know I talk a lot about food and things like that, but hey, my North Node is in the second house, the house of Taurus, which is the house of food. And I know how important our bodies are, our matter is, in order for us to just be enlightened in this time that we are in. So nevertheless, you guys, I also wanted to share that I have some things coming up this weekend. I am going to be attending the Ascension with Queen Afua for Sacred Woman. I'm really excited. It's happening out here in Los Angeles. So if you guys are in the area, definitely come out. It's going to be held on Sunday from 2 to 6 p.m. I believe, and it's going to be an amazing event, and I'm just so happy to be graduating from this program. It's been so enlightening for me. And yeah, going to, enrolling in different programs of lightness and consciousness is going to help you to stay in the light. Taming your ego is going to help you to stay in the light, to receive light codes, going to different healing retreats so you could get information, going to webinars or seminars, and just staying in tune with the information is going to keep you in tune with the light. But definitely that ego and working on the heart and working on the love is going to keep you in the light, where the universe is just going to guide you more and give you more and heal you more. Yes, activating the divine feminine, all of that. But also, I have a live webinar coming up on the 6th of August where I'll be going very in depth on different things that are going to be happening in our world. You guys want to stay tuned to that. Also, I'm going to be holding Cosmic Conversations with Kateria in Los Angeles on the 4th of August, which is a Sunday. The address is 4327 Crenshaw Boulevard. I hope to see you guys there. And if you ever want to book me for any consultations or any events, I love to talk. I love to gather. I love to share, spread the light, and receive light and information too. So you guys stay tuned with me with my tea time. Make sure you're sipping your tea, and keep coming back, because I have so many more topics that I want to share, and share this information, share this video if it's enlightening in any type of a way for you. And I appreciate you guys. Much love, much light. I'm checking out. Peace.